This is massive. According to The Athletic, the Knicks are currently exploring the trade market looking for a backup center, and they are open to moving Mitchell Robinson in a trade to get a deal done. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. But before we get started, guys, about 54% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. We are on a mission to try to reach 25,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content like this, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. The Knicks are open to trading Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks are starting to make moves. New York has been relatively inactive during the trade season. Now, obviously, winning helps with that. New York has won 5 straight games, including an impressive win over the Denver Nuggets last night. But they're also limited in the moves they can make given the assets that they have. However, that's not stopping the Knicks from exploring different trade options. And according to these latest reports, New York will make a trade, even if that trade involves Mitchell Robinson. Shout out to James L. Edwards of The Athletic for giving us the following updates on the Knicks and their current trade plans with the trade deadline about a week away. According to him, the Knicks' high payroll and commitment to one of the best starting fives in basketball is a big reason why they are limited in the assets that they have right now to make a trade. Furthermore, so is the uncertainty around the league about the health of center Mitchell Robinson. The 26-year-old is the only non-starting player on the roster with a contract capable of facilitating a trade of significant magnitude without New York gutting its bench. Edwards continues here by stating, league sources told The Athletic that they are under the impression that the Knicks are open to moving the often-injured Mitchell Robinson, who will make $14.3 million this year and $12.9 million next year. Multiple league sources have said that the Knicks told them that Robinson's return is around the corner. However, New York head coach Tom Thibodeau said this week that Robinson is not yet practicing with the team and just began running and jumping. I'm fairly confident that the Knicks, with their diminished asset pool, won't attach picks just to move off of Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks have been checking in on the backup big man market too. They want to keep their starting lineup as is. This is massive. This is one of the first reports that we have recently indicating that the Knicks are currently open to trading Mitchell Robinson if they can get a backup center in the process, because clearly the Knicks are currently actively searching the trade market for backup center options. Now, the only reason they would be doing that is because they know they need to make a move, a significant trade to get another player on this team that will be active and available more often than Mitchell Robinson will be. Because if they get that player on this team who can back up Karl-Anthony Towns, you will then push Precious Achiuwa to his natural position of the power forward position. And if that happens, you then give yourself a legitimate backup for OG Anunoby. And then if you're adding a backup 5 who's available, you get to have a backup for Karl-Anthony Towns as well too. Not to say that whoever you add to this team won't end up playing with Karl-Anthony Towns, because it's clear whether Mitchell Robinson comes back and he's your backup for Karl-Anthony Towns, or the Knicks end up trading Mitchell Robinson and getting another backup on this team, the Knicks want to try out that double big lineup. They want to see what that size can look like with Karl-Anthony Towns and another big man right alongside him. We see how it works with Precious Achiuwa, but Precious Achiuwa is 6'8". What if we have somebody who's 7 foot or 7'2" right alongside Karl-Anthony Towns? How will that look? I think the defense will look phenomenal and the offense will be top tier. And if you're able to give the Knicks that type of weapon, watch out, NBA, because the Knicks are going to continue to run through the league. Only this time, they're going to be doing it with an improved defense inside. Exactly what the Knicks want. It is great news to hear, though, about Mitchell Robinson finally taking, even if it's a step forward in his rehab. Now, instead of pool work and dieting, he is actually running and jumping. Those are huge steps for a big man who's dealing with ankle and foot injuries. Obviously, he had surgeries on his foot as well, too. So clearly, him running and jumping is a big step for him. But he still has not been cleared for contact or practice. So what does that mean? That still means, regardless of how good this update sounds, he is still weeks away from returning to the Knicks. And even when he does return, he's going to be on a minutes restriction for a while before he plays his normal minutes. We all have to understand that. The Knicks have to understand that. And clearly they do. They would not be looking at backup bigs on the trade market if they were not open to trading Mitchell Robinson and making a significant move. However, is this the only way they can add more size to this team? Get another backup big on this roster? Actually, it's not. If they still want to hold on to Mitchell Robinson and they don't want to move him, they don't really have to. As the report indicated, if a lot of people have faith that Mitchell Robinson's return is just around the corner, then maybe you don't move him. Maybe you continue to rehab with him and wait for him to return. And then you can still make a trade. Only it can be a lower level trade and it can involve another player. A player I have been talking about on this channel for weeks now. According to James L. Edwards of The Athletic, the sense around the league is that the Knicks will do something minor in order to bolster their bench, whether sooner by getting a player back in a trade or later in the buyout market. Of the players on New York's roster, league sources who have spoken to The Athletic believe that Jericho Sims is the most likely to get moved. I have been saying for weeks now that the Knicks are going to make a move. They're going to make a trade, but it's likely going to be a lower level trade, probably including Jericho Sims. If they can flip Sims for a player, they'll likely do that. Now, I think that's impossible to do, but hey, with Leon Rose, never say never. With regards to what you can get for Jericho Sims, it's likely going to be either 1 or 2 second-round picks. If you do that, you free up a roster spot and you also free up some cap space. The Knicks can utilize that on the buyout market or go to their Westchester G League team and try to add somebody that Tom Thibodeau will like and trust that way. And if they're able to do that, maybe they can have more size on this team without having to touch any of their assets or even making a legitimate trade. But if they do want to make a legitimate trade and they want to make a significant move, it's clear. One of the main ways they can do that is move Mitchell Robinson and get another player on this team. Now, I don't think they're going to move Mitchell Robinson just to move him because the reports indicate he is close to returning. I don't know how close. It could be in a month. It could be in 2 months. It could be in 2 weeks. No idea. But because internally, many people within the Knicks organization feel that he's close, I don't think the Knicks are going to move him unless a deal is on the table that is so good it's impossible to ignore. The Knicks have to make it. Apart from that happening, I can see the Knicks making a lower level trade that involves Jericho Sims, getting him off this team for another player or a second round pick, and then the Knicks going either to the buyout market or to Westchester to make another notable addition there and see what this roster can do after they add more talent. Because that's another way the Knicks can add size to this team without gutting their roster, without making a significant trade or losing out on any assets. The Knicks have multiple routes they can go here, but clearly one of the routes they're exploring is a trade. And if that trade involves Mitchell Robinson, they will make that move. Now, I understand some people don't want to see Mitch traded, but ask yourself this question. If the Knicks are exploring trades and they're open to moving him, doesn't that say a little bit more about how they feel about Mitchell Robinson right now? Maybe that means they know something that we don't. Maybe he doesn't look like the same player. Either way, if they're exploring trades and Mitchell Robinson is open and involved in those discussions because the Knicks want to include him now, I am fully open and on board with that move. I said it for a number of years now. The Knicks had to move on from Mitchell Robinson given the injury history and the fact that he's always a question mark. It's not to say I don't like Mitchell Robinson. It's not to say that I don't understand his impact when he's added to a team and he's healthy. It's just the fact of availability question marks surrounding his health, and never knowing what you're going to get from a night-to-night basis. If the Knicks do not feel like they have a guarantee on Mitchell Robinson, his health, and what he's going to be for this team when he returns, they're going to move him. I have no problem for that. But if they have faith that he's going to return very soon and there's not going to be any issues, they're going to hold on to him. And I'm okay with that too. Whatever direction Leon Rose wants to move here, I am on board with that because clearly he always has the needs of the Knicks at the forefront of any move that he makes. Keep Robinson, trade Robinson, try to find another backup big that we can add to this team that will actually have an impact and Tom Thibodeau will use. I'm all on board for it. But these were huge updates given to us by James L. Edwards of The Athletic. Not only do we know that the Knicks are currently and actively searching the trade market for a backup center, but they're also open to trading Mitchell Robinson in order to do that. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.